What is up, YouTube? 'Tis I, Chaddington, and we're back with another reaction video. This time seeing what Europeans think of America. Now, I'm a pretty patriotic person, so hopefully I don't get too offended. There's only one country on that map back there that I really care about, and it's that one. All this other stuff, I mean, who really cares, right? Who really cares? No, I'm just kidding. Please don't come for me in the comments. Actually, please do. It'll give me some good engagement. But yeah, today we're going to see what these Europeans really think of my country. Let it begin.
You want to see how the world was, you have to be in Europe. And when you want to see how the world will be, you have to go to Asia.
What was your perception of the U.S. like before you
Interesting.
lived there? Is there anything that you would change or want to improve about your country? I've been in Europe for the past year, and whenever I tell people that I'm from the U.S., I always get one of two reactions. First is why, as in, why would you leave the U.S. to live here? People find it very strange that I would prefer to live in Europe compared to the U.S. But then the other reaction is,
You know what? I do find it strange. Explain yourself.
is it dangerous? And I have to say that that's a response that I didn't used to get 10 or 15 years ago. But in the past few years of living abroad, people have been asking me more and more about safety in the US. So here in Amsterdam, I'm going to walk around a little bit and ask people their perception of the US and its citizens. What is your name?
Van de Boogaard. Ida.
Ira.
Van der Boger, Ira. Wow. Perfect accent. Thank you very much.
And you're from the Netherlands? Where are you from originally?
I was born in Amsterdam.
Oh, born and raised.
Yes.
Wow. And have you ever been to the U.S. before?
Once I was in New York.
Oh, yeah? What did
Yes.
you think of it?
New York? Oh, wonderful.
Yes?
Yeah.
What would you say is the perception here in the Netherlands of the United States?
Oh, different like before.
Different.
Yes.
Conservative country.
Conservative country.
Yes.
What would you say was the turning point when it changed? Like your perception, did it change from positive to negative?
The circumstances with Trump, and that's kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by conservative, in which ways?
Point of view of abortion
Uh-huh.
and LHBTQ.
Zero tolerance.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think that that's too strict?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Zero
how would you
tolerance for
describe the
what?
lifestyle here in the Netherlands?
Abortion?
Oh, it's
I want to think about if America is a conservative country in the global sense. I mean, definitely compared to parts of Europe. Yeah, but I mean, compared to China, compared to certain European countries like Hungary. I mean, Hungary is more conservative than the USA for sure. And I mean, half the country here is pretty liberal. Are we conservative? Maybe compared to the Netherlands. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, globally, I guess it depends on what your perspective is.
Do you have any recommendations for us as visitors? Is there something special that you think everyone should see here in Amsterdam?
Well, for me, it's just being here because I know every place, every market, every canal, every street. All of Amsterdam is good.
Just the
It's
atmosphere.
Yes, it's just a feeling.
Well, thank you so much. Have a safe
Thank
trip.
you.
Bye. What's your
What
name?
a sweet old lady.
And were you born and raised here in the Netherlands?
In the Netherlands, yeah.
Have you been to the United States before?
Yes.
Where?
I've been in New York for several times. I made a trip from
New York
Washington
seems
to
popular.
Miami, and I made a trip on the West Coast, California, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego.
That's where I'm from, Miami. And what did you think of the U.S.? What were your impressions there?
Well, it's a very big country, so there are a lot of impressions. East
Very
Coast is
true.
different from the West Coast. My last trip was from
Yeah, the U.S. is kind of like multiple countries combined almost. Maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, but every state has its own unique flavor, and there's some pretty big differences from one coast to the other. I mean, like if you compare Iowa to New York or Texas to California, I mean, the culture, the political views, the accents, they're all very different. So he is right. It depends on where you go. It'll give you a very different flavor.
From Chicago to Miami through Louisville and the Midwest. And that was really sad. It wasn't the time that Trump was president. And I had a bad feeling about it. Poor people.
Okay, we have some anti-Trump sentiment.
Pessimistic environment.
Mm.
So since then I haven't been back.
Do you feel like there was a noticeable change in the attitude of Americans when you came back the last time?
No, not the attitude of Americans. Because when you're a traveler, you have very you feel welcome. That's no problem.
Yeah.
It's just your own observations how the country is.
What is your favorite country? Can you pick a favorite?
My favorite continent is Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I'm just back from 3 months in Vietnam and Cambodia, and well, I like Asia very much because my experience is when you want to see how the world was, you have to be in Europe.
But is Asia a country? Looks like this European doesn't know about geography.
And when you want to see how the world will be, you have to go to Asia.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like the future of Earth.
The energy and the dynamics and the most people are there they are going up, and here it stays the same. Or
Yeah, but that's partially because there's so many people living in poverty in like places like the very rural areas of China. So in terms of the literal amount of the increase in wealth, definitely China is going to be on the forefront of that just because they have so many people and a good portion of them are living in poverty. So yeah, but they are advancing very quickly. But yeah, is China on the forefront of... Well, he didn't say China, he said Asia, but is Asia on the forefront of technology? Definitely, I think, places like China definitely are technological powerhouses to some extent, but the U.S., I think, is the main technological innovator. That's the thing. The U.S. is known for innovation, and then China steals all of our designs and makes their own versions. So, yeah.
You feel like the West is on the downward trajectory?
well, because they are passed by especially the Asian countries like China.
But in what way? I guess he means economically. I'm not sure that's true. I mean, if you compare China to any one small European country, then China is going to be many times more successful economically. But if you look at the West as a whole, is that the case? I'm not sure.
How do you adapt to these other places?
I don't adapt. I just go there and I don't feel. Of course, you feel you see it. You experience you're in a different culture, but that's no shock. That's very pretty. It's very nice.
Yeah.
And I'm traveling.
Good for him.
And
just got to go for it.
I'm not very much in talking to people. I'm looking. So that's what I do, and that's very interesting. And to be a watcher, to be a spectator.
I've never left the country, but I'd really like to. I really want to travel. It's just, there's definitely some fear involved when it comes to traveling generally, especially when you're going to other countries. I've always wanted to go to Italy, especially Rome. Always wanted to go there. One day, hopefully.
I agree. That's what I do.
Yeah, here in Holland.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah.
And for people who are coming here to Amsterdam specifically, it's a very international city. Do you feel like people from other countries can really integrate here, or is there always a kind of a division between locals and immigrants?
Well, that's very dependent on where the people come from. There is a lot of lot of common ground in the cultures from all these cultures in America and Australia. They come from Europe,
True.
and that's what the language is no problem because everybody speaks English.
Yeah, that's interesting. This guy speaks perfect English, and he lives in the Netherlands. He's clearly very well traveled, but still, I guess he's right. Most people in European countries are going to speak pretty good English. English is the world's primary business language or something, so everyone is kind of expected to learn English if you're going to be dealing internationally. But yeah, that definitely is a plus. If you are an English speaker and you're traveling to a country, if most of the people there are fluent in English, that's a major positive.
What's your name?
My name is Davinia.
Avinia?
Davinia, yes.
Davinia.
Yes.
And where are you from?
I'm from Utrecht.
Oh.
Yeah, so not Amsterdam.
Utrecht.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the United States?
Yes, I've lived in New York for 1 year in 2005.
Have you lived in any other countries as well?
Again, New York, popular destination. I guess that makes sense.
In Aruba
Uh-huh.
and in Spain as well.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
What inspired you to live in other countries?
To experience other cultures or other societies for longer than a couple of weeks when you're on holiday.
Yeah.
To experience more about yourself as well, and to meet new people. Yeah.
What was your perception of the US like before you lived there, and then how did it change once you lived in New York?
Well, my perception was of holidays because I went on holiday there, and also, of course, of movies. That it's a beautiful country. That people are super nice and work hard. And what I realized when I was living there is that they definitely do work hard, and sometimes like even harder than people work here in the Netherlands. Like they have 3 jobs sometimes to support themselves. So that was something that really surprised me. That like maybe sometimes life can be really hard there, harsh. Yeah.
A lot different than it looks in the movies and TV shows.
Yeah, definitely, yes, yeah.
Did that
Definitely true. Life can be harsh. I feel like America is one of those places where there are fewer safety nets and there's no guarantee of economic success. That being said, there's a much higher ceiling for success. So it's kind of like everyone who comes here are people who are willing to take the risk, you know. They're willing to risk not having as many safety nets in hopes that they will be able to achieve higher heights than they would anywhere else. And, you know, that's a trade-off, you know. Would you rather be safer or have more opportunities for success? And I'm not necessarily saying that those things are mutually exclusive, but based on our current laws, that's basically how it works.
that experience make you appreciate more the social services that are here in the Netherlands?
Definitely. Mainly, you feel quite safe here when if you lose a job, you have a support system. If you're not able to work, you have a support system, and it doesn't feel like you have that there.
Well, that's not true. We have unemployment benefits. So if you lose your job, you can basically just get a weekly paycheck from the government. And of course, there are rules and regulations attached to that. Of course, there are a ton of various welfare systems like, welfare and, food stamps and Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment services. So I think there's kind of a misconception globally that there are no safety nets, no social safety nets in the U.S. That's just not true.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I can concur that we don't really have much of a support system there. That's why I spend most of my time in Europe. Even though I'm not part of the tax system and the healthcare system, I just feel safer here.
Yeah.
Now, feeling safer can be a different story. Is she talking about like violence? Then that might make sense. I mean, who knows what the stats are, but I would imagine that the Netherlands are a much safer country.
The U.S. has gotten less safe when you were there compared to Europe. Did you feel like it was dangerous at all?
No, not really. I mean, you have to be careful everywhere you go. And a week before, I think, or maybe a month before I went to the States, some person stole my bag from me, like ripped it off right in front of my house. So, I mean, and in the States, nothing happened. So it's just, it's just a matter of being careful. So I don't feel, I didn't feel unsafe there.
Very true.
No.
Do you plan on living in any other countries in the nearby future?
Not at the moment. I'm happy in Utrecht.
What advice would you have for people that are thinking of living in another country, but they're a little bit intimidated, let's say, or uncertain about it?
Take it one day at a time. When you arrive, you feel you might feel lonely and misunderstood, but it does take some time. And if you are open to experiencing new people and new culture, then it might even surprise you and enrich your life. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Janine.
What are you?
Well, that was some good advice. She seems like a very sweet person. And it kind of makes me want to travel, you know. Not everything has to be perfect, and it might take time to find your feet, as they say. But yeah, you know, you just got to put one foot in front of the other and see what happens.
What's your name?
I'm Sasha
And where are you from in Belgium?
from Brussels.
Oh, okay. Have you ever been to the US before?
Long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, like when I was 10 years old.
Oh, okay. What would you say that the perception is among Europeans about the US right now?
I don't really know because when I was in the US, I was so young that I don't really remember what is life and what is the difference.
What would you say are like the biggest differences between the lifestyle of Europeans versus Americans?
Chill.
It's more
I think
chill
Chill,
here.
baby.
Men are more chill
Yeah.
than Americans. That's my point of view.
Yeah. I would agree. I think the lifestyle is more relaxed here than the US. What are some of the best benefits of being from a country like Belgium? What kind of like social services do you guys
Yeah.
have?
The social security is really cool, and the price of university also, because it's the same amount for everybody.
Well, that's nice. Same cost of university for everyone. What does that do to taxes, though? How high are taxes in Brussels? Because usually when you get something for free, you're paying for it somewhere else.
Why should people visit Belgium?
Because Belgium is beautiful, there is good beers there, more than 1,000 beers. There is a lot of beautiful city, also other than Brussels, like Ghent, Liège, Antwerp. And Brussels is also the capital of Europe, so there is a lot of tourism and a lot of things to do. With friends, we go.
You know, I never even hear about Belgium, usually. It's like one of those European countries that kind of flies under the radar. But he's making it sound pretty nice, so maybe I'll travel to Belgium someday. I mean, over 1,000 beers. I mean, what more do you need?
Yeah, what do people like to do there on the weekends? What is like a typical of the culture there?
Party, meet friends, and just go drink and then dance.
Awesome. So who has better French fries, Belgium or the Netherlands?
Belgium, Brussels
That was-
French fries are the best one.
That was a trick question.
Interesting. I didn't know
Well,
that.
thank you so much. Have a great
You're
Sunday.
welcome.
What is your name?
My name's Lois.
And where are you from originally?
I am from Haarlem, a small town next to Amsterdam.
Harlem.
Okay, I haven't been there yet, but it's on my list.
Oh, you should.
What would you say is the attitude towards like American tourists, for example, who are coming to Amsterdam? Is it very welcoming, or are there any stereotypes that people have here?
Oh, I think that's a good question. I think the stereotype of tourists in Amsterdam is that they go to a lot of coffee shops.
Yeah.
I've been traveling a lot myself.
Not surprised.
Last year, and everyone was saying to me, "Oh, you're from Amsterdam. Well, you must go to the coffee shop a lot." But that's not the case.
Yeah.
But I think some people in Amsterdam are a little bit fed up with tourists, but other people, I think especially younger people, are finding it really cool and interesting and are really welcoming also the American tourists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you been to the US before?
I have, yeah. I've been to New York twice.
Oh, everyone's been to New York
Yeah.
that I've talked to. I guess it
Yeah.
is a popular place to go.
Yeah, it is, and it is.
Seems
it's
like it.
also for on the good side for us, because otherwise
One
it's
of the
a lot
biggest cities in the
more
world,
trouble.
right? Yeah, I guess New York is one of the most popular cities in the world. Seems like a pretty big travel destination. I can't say I'm surprised by that. Yeah, there's a lot to do in New York, a lot of sights to see, like the Empire State Building. I don't know, I'm not from there, but it seems like everyone wants to go there. And I can understand that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And how did you like New York? What was your perception of the vibe there and the energy?
Very good, actually. Yeah, very alive and very big and busy. But I really liked it. Yeah, it's beautiful. Everyone was very nice and welcoming, I think. But maybe New York is not really a good representation of the whole of US. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if that's correct, but
Yeah, I have to agree with that. New York is very diverse, so you kind of get a flavor of the whole country. There's a lot of different kinds of people there. So in that sense, it is representative of the whole country in the sense that there's people from every part of the country, every state that come there that you can meet. But yeah, it also is very unique. It's kind of got its own thing going on. It's a major city. It's a huge city. And so you're not going to get a feel for what other parts of the country are like if you just go there.
So it's like everyone's represented, but then because of that, it's very unique as well.
all right.
Could you see yourself ever living in the US someday, or do you prefer the lifestyle here?
I prefer the lifestyle here. Yeah. I think for me it's a bit too far away from home. And I actually prefer Latin America.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What about Latin America?
Well, last year I traveled through Central America, and I really liked the vibe there, and the salsa dancing and the music and the nice weather. And
Yeah, that sounds nice. I really hate being cold, so I could really use some tropical weather, especially now in December. If you don't know, I'm living in Oklahoma right now, and it's not known to be like a very cold and wintry state, but last night it got down to around 25 degrees Fahrenheit, which is colder than I ever want to be. So maybe I should hit the beach in South America.
What would you say are your favorite things about living in the Netherlands and being from here?
Well, what I really like is that it's diverse. So I really like the beach, but I also like nature. Like the forest is more in the east
Pretty.
part of the country. I'm at the beach in like 20 minutes, so
They have a beach in the Netherlands. Is it a coastal country? Maybe I should check my map. I don't know. It is on the coast. It's right by Germany, but in between Germany and France, it looks like, and it has a pretty big coastal area. Huh. I didn't know that. Go to the Netherlands and hit the beach. Who knew? Well, probably a lot of people, just not me.
Anything that you would change or like want to improve about your country?
oh, that's a good question. I think it can be more equal, so that we are really welcoming everyone. And that the amount of money that people are making is a little bit more equal, because we are earning a lot of money in the Netherlands. I think it's a very wealthy country, but still there's a lot of people living on the streets, for example, or small families with kids that have a lot of issues.
Well, so much for the social safety net in the Netherlands. I mean, at least according to this lady.
Any Dutch words that we should know besides lekker?
Yeah, lekker is a very good one. Leuk.
What's that?
Leuk.
Leuk?
Is nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
everyone says, oh, leuk.
Okay, I'm gonna start hearing it everywhere now, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, it's a
thank you
good
so
word.
much.
You're welcome.
Everyone was really nice here. Thank you to all
They
of
were
the
nice.
kind people who stopped to talk to me. I thought it was nice that they all thought so positively and highly of Americans and of our country, and even that they had a lot of empathy for really the reality of living in the US and how difficult that can be and how hard we work.
All right, well, that was interesting. Everyone was very nice. I really enjoyed these interviews. Seemed like some very nice people over there in the Netherlands. I'll have to give it a visit sometime. But yeah, that was interesting. I feel like everyone said pretty much what I would expect them to say, kind of, you know, maybe lack of a safety net, or maybe it's not safe in the US, or their experience from movies and TV shows didn't really line up with the actual reality of being here. And that's something I can agree with 100%. But yeah, this was interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will catch you guys next time.